The factory tubing that brings pressurized air from your 2011 to 2014 F150 EcoBoost turbochargers into the motor aren't the most efficient things in the world. MBRP's hot and cold side intercooler pipes come with larger and more efficiently bent tubing for both of your EcoBoost F150's turbochargers so that they breathe a bit easier and get maximum performance and flow. For access to the factory piping, remove the oil cap and engine cover from the motor. Next, remove your intake from the charge piping. We have an aftermarket unit, but stock removal will be similar and very straightforward. Remove the air sensor from the tubing and place the intake aside for now. We then moved under the truck for access underneath. Remove the plastic push pins and take away the splash guard. This gives us access to the intercooler connections. Go ahead and loosen the clamps in the hot and cold side piping from here underneath the truck. Back up in the engine bay, disconnect the vacuum lines from each charge pipe on the passenger side. Then through the wheel well, loosen the clamp on the charge piping on the passenger side turbo and pull the stock pipe out of the engine bay. Over on the driver's side, remove the stock charge pipe from the clamp attached to the timing cover, and again loosen the clamp on the turbo through the driver's side wheel well. In order to pull out the stock pipe, we removed the vacuum line on the intake pipe, as well as the coolant overflow tube. With these out of the way, we tried to pull the charge pipe from the engine bay, but found we needed to remove the cold side pipe at the throttle body first. Now that the hot side driver tube is out, unbolt the clamp from the timing cover and set it aside. It will not be reused. Finish off disassembly by removing the air sensor and vacuum line from the cold side tubing to be able to pull the cold side tube from the engine. Transfer the air sensor to the new MBRP cold side pipe and use the new hardware to bolt it down. The new clamp and boot can be attached to the bottom of the cold side tubing and lightly tightened down for the time being. Slide it up into the engine bay from the bottom of the truck and twist it into place to set it on the intercooler. Next, drop in the hot side piping on the driver's side with the new rubber boots attached and snake it around the coolant and vacuum lines. We are working with tight spaces here, so patience will be needed. Push the boot onto the turbo and tighten the clamps down through the wheel well. We then reattach the coolant overflow and vacuum line. Onto the passenger side clamp, attach the barb fitting for its vacuum line, then it can be set in the engine bay with the boots attached. We reach through the wheel well again to tighten it to the turbo housing and bolt it down. Reattach both of the passenger side vacuum lines to the charge pipes. Move to underneath the truck once more to connect the second piece of the driver's side charge pipe. Once it is connected, both the passenger and driver's side charge piping can be bolted down to the intercooler, as well as clamping down the extension of the driver's side pipe. Replacement of the splash guard will complete our use for access underneath the truck. To finish up the cold side tubing, connect the vacuum line and air sensor connection. Lastly, add the 90-degree boot and clamp it to the throttle body. The only part remaining is the replacement of your air intake, engine cover, and oil cap. These MBRP pipes will help you get the maximum amount of cold air into your EcoBoost F150, and more cold air means more horsepower and torque, not to mention the polished finish giving your truck an upgrade in looks as well.